There is a family in the animal kingdom that is called the Artiodactyla, and there are more than 270 different animals under this family branch. And it's good to know some of these live in the waters, like orcas and dolphins. And that's the coolest part about this, that orcas and dolphins are under this family. We have animals like giraffes, buffaloes, boars, and what the video is about today, camels. You could say all these animals started from one branch, and depending on the environment and place they lived, they went through evolution differently. Artiodactyla family of animals started around 53 million years ago. And it's nearly the same for camels, about 50 million years ago. The oldest fossil of a camel has been found in South Dakota. It looks something like this, and it lived in North America. About 35 million years ago, these camels start to head west into Asia, and some of them went south to South America. The ones that went to South America evolved like this: a camel that's called a llama, and it's only found in South America, and it's much smaller than a normal camel. The ones that came towards Asia preferred hotter weather, so south of Asia, and they turned into these three different types. The first kind is the Bactrian camel, found around Central Asia. Then the next one, we have the Arabian camel that's found in the Middle East and North Africa, and they're also found in Australia. And you might ask, how is that possible? Just like goats, sheep, and rabbits, the British took camels to Australia in the 1840s. But these camels in Australia aren't as bad as the goats and rabbits in Australia. And they have one of the highest population of camels in any country. The problem the camels were causing in Australia was the huge population, because it went as high as 600,000 camels, and in a span of 4 years, the government killed 300,000 of these camels, and the plan was to keep the population of these animals around 300,000. It's good to know that Saudi Arabia and UAE are the biggest importers of Australian camels, and that's mainly for meat usage and milk. Australia sells camel meat and milk, but UAE and Saudi Arabia prefer to do it themselves. But let's go to the third type of camel. It's a very rare camel, and it's only found in Mongolia and China, and it's considered wild. Let's talk about the Arabian camel, where most of it is found in Australia. An interesting fact about this animal is that it has a very long lifespan as a mammal, and it could live from 40 to 50 years. Camels are very tall as well, and depending on its genes, it could be as high as 1.8 meters, all the way to 2 meters and 20 centimeters. But sometimes you have extremely tall camels, and it could go as high as 2.5 meters. But just like humans, this is extremely rare. A camel can weigh from 300 kilos all the way to 1 ton, but the ones that could reach 1 ton are the male Bactrian camels. When you look at a camel, it's usually walking very slowly, but you can't underestimate its power. If it wants to run, it will run, and it can run as fast as 65 kilometers an hour. And for an animal this size and it weighs this much, it's insane. But it can't run at this speed for long. And in the races that happens in Qatar and the UAE, an average speed of a camel throughout the race is about 40 kilometers an hour. A lot of people believe that in a camel hump there is water, and it could walk through the desert and use the water. But in these humps there is no water, and it's made from fat. The way the fat evolved, it was basically like an insulation for the camel's body, and it will keep the body cool against heat. Not only does the fat keep the camel cool, but even if it's hungry and it doesn't find any food, it could give the animal itself energy. It's a beautiful animal, isn't it? In English, we call it a camel, and some say this word came from the Arabic word jamil, which means beautiful. These animals have a giant water tank on them at all times, and it could store a lot of water inside its body, and if it needs it, it will use it inside. It's interesting that when a camel sees a body of water, it could fill its body up all the way to 150 liters, and this allows it to go a long distance in the dry heat. The most interesting thing is that the water is stored in its stomach and it does not go into the humps. Camels are very likable animals, but Arabic countries, especially the Arabian Peninsula, camels are known as the best animal on earth. That is why in Arabic, you can find 160 different words that describes camels. Just like dogs, camels are very social and they like to live together rather than alone. When you look at inside the camel's mouth, it looks like a nightmare, but that's protection of its mouth, and this allows it to eat a lot of sharp objects, especially dry wheat, without damaging its mouth. It could even eat cacti without damaging its mouth, and it really enjoys it. Humans do some interesting things around the world. Like for example, in Turkey, they like to make these animals wrestle with one another. If you pay attention to the way a camel chews, it's very unique, and this is the only animal that chews like this. The way the camel chews breaks down all the dry wheats in a desert without causing its stomach harm, and if it's not broken down properly, the camel can throw up the food and chew it more than eat it again. It's good to know that cows do the same thing with their food. Camels can survive the longest without water out of any animal. In Arabian countries, the people love camel meat and they believe it's a very delicious meat, especially the humps. This animal has a very interesting nose as well. If it gets stuck in a sandstorm, it could close its nose like a one-way valve, where it allows it to breathe but won't let the sand in. Another cool thing this animal has is a 3-eyelid eye. These 3 eyelids allows the animal to go through a sandstorm with no problem. If it's going through a sandstorm, it could close one of the layers of its eyes and still see through the clear layer. This is in a way where its cousin, the llama in South America, has 3 eyelids, but their nose cannot be opened and closed. This is where we can see evolution, because the llamas in South America didn't need it to survive in a sandstorm, but this type of camel needed it to survive in this weather. Camels are very emotional, and if you disrespect them, they will remember it. One of the things they do when they're angry is spit at you. If you hurt a camel, it will scan your face and remember it, and it could attack you. Even though camels don't really attack humans, but there is a chance if you really hurt it. If you hurt them, they'll never forget you. But if you're friends with them, they'll never forget you and be your friend forever. In the Middle East, a lot of people use camel milk, and scientists believe that camel milk is better than cow milk because it has more vitamin C. In the countries around the Persian Gulf or the Arabian Peninsula, you could easily find camel milk in all types of stores. I haven't drank it. If you've drank it before, please leave a comment on how it tastes like. When you look at the fur a camel has around it, you'll think that it will die in this heat with that much protection, but that wool does the opposite, and it keeps the animal cool in the hot weather. Another interesting thing about camels is that it has GPS, but not really. It could remember some ways, especially the route it could take to get back home. But any route that it knows, it basically has to go back and forth a few times, then it might remember it. These are the reasons that some scientists say camels are smarter than horses. One of them, they can remember faces. It can remember routes. It could realize someone is disrespecting them and not like it. There are also hybrid versions of the camel. We have the Central Asian one and the Arabian camel, and then you'll get this one, where the hump is much larger. This is the only type of a hybrid camel you could do. Another thing you need to know about camels is that some people do drink the camel urine, especially in Arabic countries, but not like camel milk. There are different companies that actually put it in a bottle and packaging. A lot of chemists and scientists tested camel urine to see if it's bad or good, and they came to a conclusion that it's not good or bad because there's no virus or bacteria in it.